Welcome to the Heart of New Jersey podcast. I'm Kira, your host, and alongside me we have John, the owner of Burnt Mills Cider here in Bedminster. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. It's good to be here. Thanks for coming.
I know, and it was a perfect day for this. It's beautiful out.
Yes.
So we are outside in their gorgeous outdoor area. Do you want to just give our viewers like a little brief overview of Burnt Mills and how you got started here?
Sure. Burnt Mills has been around for about almost 5 years, just a month shy of our fifth birthday. We got started in the middle of COVID, which, as you can imagine, was
a little tough.
A little tough. It was definitely interesting with the face masks and the social distancing, and we've come a long way since then. What we've discovered is people like to come with their friends and families and enjoy a drink either inside or outside, and also maybe grab a meal from one of the food trucks that we have usually on site.
Awesome. Yeah, I know I've personally come with a group of friends just for the food truck, the ambiance like outside here, especially like during sunset, you got the games over there, you got the fire pits going. It's always a fun time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into a little taste testing a little later, but do you wanna tell our viewers kind of how you got into this business and this industry, like where you came from?
Yeah, well, I'm an import. Having grown up in Vermont, I always had an appreciation for apples and the outdoors. But I guess after having had a career in New York City,
oh, wow.
There was maybe pent-up demand initially as a hobby to make apple cider.
Okay.
And what started off as just a fun project that I did at home expanded, especially when my wife encouraged me to go commercial with it.
Yeah.
Expanded into something a little more serious and commercial, and that's when we decided to develop this property and
cool.
put something special.
So you were making this at home?
I was doing this at home, not
that
selling
seems not
it,
easy.
It is a little harder in the sense that you don't have the equipment, the same equipment that's available to commercial makers.
I mean, the equipment you have in here is humongous, which we'll definitely show a little clip of. But
yes.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you could fit in your house.
No, and it the commercial equipment is designed to make things easier, arguably better. And the cider that we make today is completely different from what I was doing as a hobbyist.
Yeah.
And it's changed over time.
And it's definitely a little different view than New York City. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you touched on the sunsets, but
yes.
There's a lot of green out here and the bird noises, and it's just a very pleasant setting. And the reason, there's a reason for that is, it's a place that we wanted people to view as a gathering place and a place where you could relax.
Yeah, and it definitely does that. What are some challenges, or you mentioned milestones, 5 years is coming up, that you've accomplished?
In terms of the challenges or the milestones, the challenges, we see them every day. We try really to, your biggest fear is, trying to avoid the big mistakes, and we seem to make plenty of mistakes, and hopefully we can
we're only
learn from
human.
them. Yeah. And along the way we've learned about the industry. It's not easy breaking into the industry as the fifth entrant into the New Jersey cider market. On top of that, there's there are challenges broadly and today in the craft segment, but I think when I think about the wind at our sails, I think there's a lot of support from the community. And when I say community, I it's not just the neighboring towns, but it's the New Jersey as a whole has been a very supportive community. The movement, let's say, to support local, buy local, I think has helped us. I think there's also a benefit from a focus on quality.
Yeah.
And New Jersey seems to be a place where people are, attuned and sensitive to the quality of the inputs, the quality of the processes, and the quality of the product, the end product.
Yeah.
And they notice the differences between the stuff that's local versus the stuff that might be, made at some factory far away with inputs that
you don't know where they're coming from.
No, they may have been on a boat before they got here.
Exactly.
So I think despite the challenges that we see on a day-to-day basis, being in New Jersey has been great for us because it's been a great state to, from the supportive standpoint.
Would you say you like New Jersey more than Vermont now?
Oh, sure. No, I actively left Vermont, and we've came to New Jersey with our eyes wide open. We haven't looked back. We've been very very happy with our.
New Jersey's great.
choice.
We got it all here.
Yeah, no, I agree, and we'll talk about some of our products. But the funny thing to me is I think that people from New Jersey know how good they have it, and there's this pride in just some of the smaller things, like the produce. Think about the blueberries
the
at
Garden
the state,
State,
the Garden State, and things that outside of New Jersey might be mocked at. Within New Jersey, there's the cranberry. We try to put these things into our products and showcase them, and we've had good results with that. So. New Jersey.
And our pizza's better.
Absolutely.
So how did you come up with the name Burnt Mills? Like, was there a meaning behind that?
Yeah, well, we didn't, so we adopted an existing name from, that was given to an area of Bedminster with a neat bit of revolutionary history.
Oh, cool.
This was a mill that was, that had been burnt down essentially by the British Army after they discovered that the owner had dumped his remaining provisions into the Raritan River rather than to let the British get them. And that resonated with me as somebody that's willing to sacrifice quite a bit for what he believes in.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Now that I know the meaning behind the name, I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, I also like that it ties New Jersey's very rich colonial history with cider making back to present times.
Yeah,
so
especially with the 250th coming up.
Exactly right.
It's definitely important.
Absolutely.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the orchard and the production process behind cider?
Sure. In basic terms, fermentation is really the chemical process by which yeast will convert sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide. And just like with grape juice being converted into wine, apple juice can be converted into hard cider. So we take our apple juice, our fresh juice, and we'll add yeast to that and yeast nutrients, and then we'll let nature essentially take its course. After a little while, you have what is called our base cider. It's not very good to taste, but it the cider making process does allow for some inputs from the human touch, and we'll do things like filter and add carbonation before we go for our final blend. But
that's cool.
Yeah.
So what about like the orchard itself? I know you said before when we were talking a little bit about what's going on there.
Well, it is a challenge for us. What we've discovered in this area is that growing trees is not as easy as it looks. We've had a difficulty getting our trees to grow and bear fruit. It's been frustrating for us because we really would like to get to the point where we can get harvest from our own production of apples and come up with a line of micro locally harvested apples for juice in our own cider, and we're just unfortunately we're going to have to wait for that. But it's on the way, and we'll eventually get there.
Yeah, it takes time. Good things take time.
Yes.
So that's definitely important. So you kind of touched on this a little bit as well, but like sustainability and local sourcing. So how are you bringing that into play with the ciders now?
Oh, well, I mean, we'd like to showcase it. We have several products that rely beyond just the juice that will feature locally made inputs. Jersey Blue, for example, I mentioned
that one's so good.
I mentioned
love that flavor.
Thank you. Those blueberries come from one farm down in Hamilton, and we get peaches for our Jersey peach from different sources. But one town over at Melix Farm in Oldwick has been one of our suppliers. We've gotten from a local CSA, we've gotten cucumbers and basil to make what's called Jersey Summer. We've had fresh cranberries from down south to put into the Hunt and other.
The Hunt is another great one. There's so many good ones.
And we try to do that. We're trying to here and there, come up with different flavors that we think might be interesting to our customers, and sometimes we put them in the cans. Every time we will put them on tap, and we'll let the customers. We'll use the tasting room as a way for customers to almost trial these
what they
these
like
flavors.
the best.
And we'll know. If something is not going to sell well, then we can see that. And conversely, if there's a new flavor that seems to be selling out quickly, that's a pretty obvious hint that maybe we should make more of it.
Yeah.
Lavender haze has been made with local honey.
I need to try that. That sounds good.
You might try some a little bit later.
All right.
So yes, we will routinely have products on seasonal flavors that feature some locally
awesome.
grown produce from New Jersey.
And how often are you switching seasonal flavors?
It feels like
every day.
Yeah, sometimes. It's pretty frequent. We will. It feels as though we have maybe half a dozen year-round flavors, and another a dozen and a half seasonal flavors. So a little more frequently than once a month, we have these new seasonal flavors coming on, like, for example, Citrus Twist was introduced recently. We have Strawberry Lemonade is on, Lavender Haze I mentioned is on. In a week or two we'll bring back Arnie Palmer, which is a half and half with iced tea and lemon, and Pina Colada we'll bring back. So it's a mix of new flavors and old flavors, but our lineup is constantly rotating. So much so that we have to use social media to
let people know what's coming and what's going.
What's coming. And sometimes letting something roll off tap is not very popular with our customers. But,
I'm sure once people find their flavor, they're like, no, you can't get rid of it.
That's right. But usually we most people find something that they can enjoy.
Swap it out. Try something new.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll get into our cider tasting.
Sure.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
You are. All right, John, so tell me what flavors we have in front of us today.
Well, we have 4 of the 10 flavors that we have on tap right now, and it gives a good selection, in my view, of what Burnt Mills has to offer. Why don't we start with what's called the semi-dry.
All right.
And this is really one of our original flagship ciders. It's a traditional unflavored cider that is very crisp and clean, and when you sip it, it's got some nice floral notes, but the key to it is that it's just easy to drink, and you get some appley notes on it. But a lot of people tell me they like to sit by a pool and
this is a good, refreshing, very refreshing, simple drink.
Thank you.
Like.
Yeah, I like it too. And this,
Definitely.
during the course of the year, is probably one of our best sellers.
Yeah.
I'd move next to all the way to the left.
Okay, I'm most excited for this one.
This is called the Lavender Haze, and it's aptly named. This is made with we make a tea out of dried lavender flowers, and then blend in some honey, as well as add a touch of lemon. So it's got the flavor and nose of the lavender, but a little bit of zing and zest from the citrus.
Okay.
So try that. Let me know what you think. You see what I'm talking about? You get the lemon and definitely get the lavender.
I think my favorite.
And the lavender will linger too. So
Yeah, I love that. I love the smell of lavender, and I'm a matcha girl. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I always put lavender syrup in my matcha.
Yeah.
This, delicious. That's going to be my new summer drink. So don't get rid of this anytime soon.
I'll tell that to Scott. So moving on, this is another one of our, so lavender haze might be a seasonal. This one is called sour cherry, and this is a year-round flavor, just like the semi-dry.
Okay.
This is a little bit drier than semi-dry. When you get its name from the two sour cherry varieties that we add to it, the Balaton and Montmorency. But we basically take the sour cherry and blend that with the medium dry cider. So.
This is one thing I've never understood. How can you consider something dry? Like even with wines, I've never understood like what that actually means.
Yeah, that's a good question. It really is a gauge of sweetness. And if you imagine fresh juice as being fully loaded with natural sugars at one end of the spectrum, and at the other end of the spectrum would be a fully fermented cider with no sugar, natural or otherwise added. That would be the dry end of the spectrum.
Okay.
So dry in this sense is the opposite of sweet.
Gotcha.
And with Burnt Mills Cider, most of our, since we don't like sugar and sweetness, most of our ciders are in the dry end of the spectrum. Even our sweetest ciders are still a lot drier than the average cider that's out there.
But they're still sweet from the natural fruit flavored.
Yes.
So it's, you can't even, I wouldn't even know that there was no sugar in this, honestly.
Yeah, the experience for us has been that the feedback we hear is that people appreciate having the drier options, and that they enjoy the other flavors that are present in the cider itself. So,
yeah, definitely.
So
yeah, this one is very, very good.
Yeah, and you definitely get the flavor of the cherries when you
the
get
dark
that.
color too of it.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
So the last one will be the sweetest one that you taste. This is called Mango Berry.
Yeah.
And this was did well for us on tap last year, and we decided to bring it back in cans this year. But it's a blend of mango and strawberry.
Okay.
So definitely sweeter, and you can definitely detect the mango on the nose.
That's delicious. You can definitely tell it's a little heavier than the other ones because of that sweetness, but the flavor is like, bam, right in your face.
Yeah.
It's good.
And it's funny, we see different types of people drinking different types of styles of cider. What I learned early on is that if we only made ciders that I enjoyed to drink, we probably would have gone out of business. And there's definitely a contingent of our customers that are at the sweeter end of our spectrum of ciders, but this one is done pretty well for us.
Definitely. What's your favorite cider that you've ever done?
My favorite cider, I'd say two of them are I tend to like the drier ones.
Okay.
So our first batch of dry sparkling, which tasted like a champagne, was excellent, and we try to replicate that from time to time. But year in, year out, hands down, to me, are the cider that I enjoy drinking, and I think showcases what Burnt Mills can do is the Jersey Blue, which
I agree with that one. Yeah.
It's
It's a good one.
Has a very delicate flavor from the fresh blueberries, has a little bit of lemon in it, is just easy to drink in the warmer summer months of New Jersey, and and also relies on the New Jersey produce, but it is, to me, a very high quality drink.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, this was awesome. I will definitely. Are these in the cans?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will definitely be taking.
All of these are in the cans. The Lavender Haze doesn't go out to the stores, so we have what's called our taproom special cans that are really a rotation of some of the seasonal flavors that are smaller for us, but where a lot of customers nonetheless will ask for it in cans. And so we currently have that in our taproom special cans.
I will be grabbing that on my way out. So can we talk a little bit about collaborations you have here at Burnt Mills? I know you guys do have food trucks every weekend, I believe. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, we've done that since day one, really. We set out knowing that we didn't want to serve food, but at the same time wanted to have an offering of food available to our customers who can also bring their own food, by the way. So we approached a bunch of local food trucks, and in my opinion, these local food trucks have been able to make a very high quality product and have a very high quality offering. Sometimes it's better than what you can get at restaurants in other areas. So so we definitely have a rotation of food trucks from Wednesday through Sunday when we're open on Wednesdays.
That's awesome.
And they're all different, and they're all very good.
Do you want to talk a little bit about any events or festivals? Do you guys do any farmers markets or things along those lines that you could kind of talk about?
Absolutely. Your timing is perfect. The Bedminster Farmers Market is starting up this Saturday, and we will be there every Saturday, starting this Memorial Weekend right up through December. So you can find our products there. Cool. But it doesn't stop there. I consider the food trucks to be events, so there's always an event going on at Burnt Mills. We also think that new product offerings are an event to celebrate.
Definitely. So celebrate the little things.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. The next, we'll bring back some of the seasonals like Arnie Palmer in a week or two, and Pina Colada, as well as the Jersey series like Jersey Blue and Jersey Peach and the Hunt. But speaking of the Hunt,
it's a big event.
It is a big event, and that product is made with fresh cranberries that are grown in New Jersey, but it's really inspired by the horse racing event that takes place in Far Hills. Yep. And we contribute cider. It is a charity event, so we do contribute product to that event to help them out. But at the same time, we have a nice, cool flavor that.
It's one of my favorite flavors for sure. I'm like, I always keep an eye out when it's hunt season. I know where to go. And it's definitely a perfect event to have cider at.
To me,
can't go wrong with cider. I agree with that. And just like a side note, we will be at the hunt this year as Somerset County Tourism, so definitely keep an eye out for us. And don't forget to get your cider.
That's right.
Before you go. What about events that you have here? Do people have to rent space? I know you guys have the outdoor area. Large groups can come. How does that work?
Yeah, we do operate on a first come, first served basis. When groups have a larger event going on, they're probably better off giving us a shout ahead of time.
Yeah.
And we can reserve tables.
It gets pretty busy.
Yeah, and
especially in the summer when it's nice out.
Yes.
They want to be out there.
Absolutely. And as the evenings get cooler, as you get into the fall, they like to
Yeah.
be near the fire pits, and
Yep.
and so we can try to accommodate wherever possible with groups and larger bookings.
Awesome. Is there any specific customer story that like comes to mind over the years?
I had every customer story to me is a treasure. But I had a customer come in once who had just moved away to California.
Oh wow.
And they came back and said, just moved to California, and he had a gluten intolerance, and he tried the ciders that were there and was dissatisfied. So when he had the opportunity to come back to New Jersey, he decided to stock up on our ciders.
There you go.
I like it so much, and that's, to me, that's the biggest compliment is when somebody chooses our product because they know it and decide that it's better than what else is out there.
Definitely. And as someone who doesn't eat gluten either, I'm like, this is the perfect place for me to like bring my friends and my family, because everybody wants to go to a brewery or a distillery, and I'm like, I don't know if I can have that, but I know this is always a safe bet to come to, and I could bring my own food, so it's great. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's the breweries are great and the distilleries are great, and we're just one of those things that are a little bit different, and there's always a time and a place for cider, I think.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree. All right, so what's coming next? Can you give us any hints to upcoming flavors? I know you mentioned a few, or product launches that you're going to be having.
Yeah, we just came out with the citrus twist, which is sort of a grapefruit dominant flavor. We'll bring out some of the seasonals that we haven't had for a while. I mentioned the Pina Colada and the Arnie Palmer. In terms of new flavors, it's possible that you might see something with the name Scarlet in there, and I'll leave it at that.
Oh, no more details. Okay, we're gonna have to just keep an eye out for that one.
That's right.
All right. So how can listeners either support you or follow you? Where can people find you?
Well, certainly on social media, we're posting events like food trucks and others. The lineup of those things, you can go to Burnt Mills Cider on Instagram and Facebook. We try to update our website to include the availability of what's on tap and what are in cans. If you're looking to support us, come to the cidery, but it's also equally supportive if you go to your local store or restaurant or bar and ask for us wherever you happen to be.
Yeah. Where are some locations that people can find your products at?
Well, we're in over 200 locations around the state.
Okay.
And most of those are stores because of the legacy of when we started up in the COVID era, and a lot of bars and restaurants were closed. So we focused more on the stores. But we are trying to catch up in the bars and restaurants. And so you can find us very close by in Bedminster and Chester.
Okay.
You can find us in actually all four corners of the state at this point.
Wow, awesome. Well, congrats to that.
But if there are places where you can't find us, then let us know.
Let them know, let you guys know.
That's right.
We want their products. Well, this was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having us, and I can't wait to be back with friends and family, have a little picnic outside when the weather's nice.
Anytime, Kara, we'd love to have you back.
Awesome. Thank you.